The truth about early retirement. In this video, I'm going to share with you the truth about retirement and about a group of people who are devoting their lives for early retirement and financial independence in their early 30s and 40s. Hey there! In today's day and age, there's a lot of young adults that think retirement is a far-off dream that's impossible to achieve. But I'm here to tell you that that's not true at all. In fact, I'm going to show you how some people retire after only a few years in the workforce. So, stick around. The f.i.r.e. community. The f.i.r.e. community is a group of people who are committed to retiring early. By saving a high percentage of their income and investing carefully, members of the f.i.r.e. community hope to retire years or even decades ahead of schedule. While the specifics vary from person to person, the core principle is the same. By living below your means and making smart financial decisions, it's possible to retire much sooner than the traditional retirement age. For many people in the f.i.r.e. community, the goal is to achieve financial independence and retire by the time they're in their 30s and 40s. While this may seem like an ambitious goal, members of the f.i.r.e. community are passionate about achieving it. Through careful planning and disciplined savings, they believe that anyone can retire early and enjoy a life of financial independence. Although sensible from hearing the name of the community, it is after all not a cult that has nothing to do with FIRE. f.i.r.e. is simply an acronym for the words Financial Independence Retire Early. They know a lot about early retirement, and today I'm going to share some of their secrets. So, first, what do you envision retirement being? If retiring early means living alone, eating nothing but porridge for the next 30 to 50 years, working a normal 9 to 5 doesn't sound as bad. A porridge-eating retirement is not what the FIRE committee envisioned, and as such, most FIRE members don't strive for this sort of retirement. So how do you get started? And how much do you need to invest depending on the sort of retirement you're envisioning? Most people have thought about retirement at some point or another. For some of us, the thought of retirement conjures up images of relaxing on a beach somewhere, sipping cocktails, and living the life of luxury. For others, retirement simply means having the financial security to live comfortably and without worry. Regardless of how you envision retirement, one thing is certain: it costs money. But how much money do you need to invest to retire early? If you want to retire on a budget of around $70,000 a year, you'll need something like $1.7 million if you're using the standard 4% rule. And that's not accounting for taxes. If you don't know what the 4% rule is, check out our other video covering the 4% rule in detail. Anyways, $70,000 a year is just not gonna cut it for a lot of people. And in that case, you're gonna have to save more, upwards of $2 million. And you might be thinking, how in God's name am I supposed to save $2 million before the age of 30 or 40? The answer is the mathematical phenomenon of compound interests. Now, if you don't know what compound interests are, I'm sorry to tell you that it's not something that easy that will cut the corner of saving money. And if you're planning on retiring early, you're gonna have to save a lot of your income, unless you already have a large income, which, let's face it, most people don't. But compound interest is basically the phenomenon where if you invest your money, it will grow at an exponential rate if given enough time. Let's say you invest $100 at a 10% interest rate. After 1 year, you'll have $110. But after the second year, you'll have $121. Since you earn interest not on the initial $100, but on the $110 you gained after the first year. After a while, you can make a serious amount of money just from the garnered interest. Some call this interest on interest. So, using this phenomenon, let's calculate just how much and how long it will take you to reach retirement if you invest certain amounts of money at a 10% interest rate. So, if you want to retire by the time you turn 40 on a $70,000 a year budget, you'll have to save $25,000 every year from the time you're 20 until the year you're 40. That's considering you get a 10% interest rate, which is not too unlikely considering that has been average return of the stock market the last 50 years. If you're planning on retiring after only 10 years in the workforce, you'll have to invest $85,000 a year with a 10% interest rate. This is very difficult unless you have a very high-paying job. However, a lot of people are content with less than $70,000 a year. If you wish to retire on $50,000 a year, you have to invest $62,000 a year to retire by 30 and $18,000 a year if you wish to retire by the age of 40. Now, here's some tips to avoid mistakes in your retirement planning. First, a lot of people dream of retiring early, but in order to do so, they need to make wise investment choices. Higher interest rates give earlier retirements after all. One trap that people sometimes fall into is investing in products that offer unrealistic interest rates. While it may be tempting to put your money into an account that promises a high interest rate of return, it's important to remember that if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. When choosing investments, be sure to do your research and choose products that offer a reasonable rate of return. With careful planning, you can make your dreams of an early retirement a reality. A rule of thumb is that with higher interest rates comes higher risk. If something has a high enough interest rate, it won't take long before the money exceeds the value of all goods and services on Earth. The average interest rate of the US stock market has been 10% for the last 50 years. So it's unreasonable to expect a higher return than this without risking losing equivalent amounts of money. And secondly, retirement is a time to enjoy the fruits of your labor and relax after years of hard work. However, there are a few good reasons you might want to think twice about retiring early. For one thing, retirement can be expensive. Even if you have saved up enough money to cover your basic costs, you may find yourself quickly running through your savings if you're not careful. In addition, retirement can be quite boring. Without a regular schedule or purpose, many people find that their days begin to blend together. Finally, retirement can be unhealthy. Studies have shown that people who retire early are more likely to suffer from depression and other mental health problems. So while retirement may sound tempting, there are a few things to consider before rearranging your life for an early retirement. After all, you're only young once, and enjoying your youth is way more fun than living a lavish lifestyle in your 40s or 50s. So there you have it. That was our video on the truth of early retirement. And if you'd like to see more videos on investing and finance-related topics, make sure to subscribe and like the video so the YouTube algorithm can send you back to me. And if you'd like to check out some of our other videos, you can click on one of the videos in the right or the top left corner.